society as it were has made us to be reactionary in our day-to-day activities. We wait until things happen, then we now take action. So for me, this class will not just end with us having this knowledge to put it out at our places of work, even at home, to help us to begin to become proactive in the things we do in our day-to-day activities and all. So thank you so very much. And I pray we would enjoy today's class as well like that. Thank you.
Very much, very much. I'll show you
All
of that. Thank you
yeah.
so much. All right, Jamil, go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, it is good.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for giving young and age guys the opportunity to to learn a new way of doing things and to improve on the way you do things. Well, I know I learned a lot about the last class, which despite the fact that it's a foundation course, there are so many things I realized that, well, the way I'm doing it before, that is not the way it's supposed to be. And even though they are very good and more or less like a constructive ways and a comprehensive way to do things, well, I would say I learned how to be not just only to be proactive. I also say that I learned how to, you have given the last class give me that confidence to to challenge some decision which says no, this facility management for you to achieve this and this is the way to do things. Well, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Crowder, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, so take away from last class. Firstly, I want to really appreciate you for that last class. Probably I should introduce myself properly for you to know me more, Mr. Paul. So if you can get a quick flashback, the way I rushed to your office, I called you. I'm on my way now. I'm on my way to your office now. I saw this advert on Facebook because I was about to make a deposit of $154 for IFMA. Well, this position I am now, I entered this company as a marketer, and then after a while, it's a company where you get a lot of grades for not meeting target and all that. After like 1 year plus of not meeting targets, my boss kind of saw that, okay, there is something good about this boy. I don't know why he saw that. And he moved me to admin. I mean, it's the first time it will ever happen, according to him, even in his history, that somebody does not meet targets, yet he was moved like a promotion thing to a secure place. So long story short, I've been in admin, the day, I think a week I was in admin, immediately the next week, everybody in admin was sacked. So I had to look at everything. The only person in the facility was moved to outside Lagos. So I had to be handling admin, facility, just like for the start, like me that just came in, just newbie like me. What can I do? But long story short, I've been managing all this stuff. So that's for me now. Sorry about that, please. Put what's in my bag. Sorry about that. So I've been managing all this stuff since for over almost 3 years now, and it's been really, really tough. So last class was the first class I'll ever be having in facility management, and did I take a lot home? During the class, I won't lie to you, I was a bit distracted because my boss kept calling, have you done this? Have you done that? This is what you've not done. It was a whole lot, but something I later looked at that, and I would like to advise everybody here is don't take it for a joke. The next day, my head was so full, I couldn't do my assignment that day. The next day I was doing my assignment, it was as if I was being thought over again, everything about the course. It was as if I was getting everything, like the things I didn't get while you were explaining because I was so distracted. I was getting everything over again, like I was learning them fast by myself. It was so, I don't know, the assessment is something we should take very serious. So I learned a lot. I saw a lot of mistakes I've been making in facility management. In fact, recently, me and my boss have been head to head, challenging me on my every decisions and everything. And I just hope they become they are patient with me till I get this my certification because I know they are not going to
yes
they have invested in me. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Well done. Well done. Grace, your hand was up. Do you still want to talk?
Yes, good evening. Good evening, sir. Good evening,
Good
everybody.
Welcome.
Okay, I would like to say that one thing that stuck with me is the aspect where you talked about us being proactive as facility managers. We don't need to wait until things get out of hand. So getting up, do our daily routine checks, checking the gray areas before someone even detects them is something that we should do. We should be ahead of our clients, ahead of our bosses, ahead of our customers. For me, I recently got a job as a facility team lead from nowhere. I didn't know anything about facility management. I have been an administrator though for some years.
Yeah.
But jumping into that space for me was something entirely new, and the kind of company I work with now and the role that was given to me. So I'm a team lead in my place of work. So a lot of things were being expected of me, and I didn't know anything. So for me, this course is more like a learning ground for me. It's an eye opener. A lot of things that I've been doing now, I have more like, I now know what the name or the term is called. I just do them on my own, but now I know what term this thing is. What is an SLA?
Yeah.
Another thing that's for me is the SLA and asset management, the asset register.
Good.
So for me to take home, and I'm looking forward to our project where we will need to work on the assets register.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So
Fantastic.
I'm taking this I'm taking this course seriously, and I just pray for people to take all that comes with it.
Okay.
And I would like to cue with what the last speaker said, talking about the assessment. Doing the assessment also is more like a refresher for us, because while during the last class I had it's a little bit of distractions, but while I was in the assessment, it was more like I was relearning all the things you taught us in the last class. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. Fantastic. Well done.
Thank you.
Kingsley, did you want to speak? I saw your hand up briefly. Go ahead.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, it is good.
Okay. Firstly, I'm privileged and honored to be part of this learning system, because recently, like 7 months ago, my estate was having an issue with customer manager. They have to sack the customer manager of the estate, and the estate just picked me up out of nowhere to manage the estate. Oh boy, it was a big drama. And let me start from what I learned yesterday, because a lot of mistakes was done. I made a lot of mistake during my 5 months of managing the estate. I only have the skills of managing people. I'm very welcoming and everything. The first lesson I learned yesterday was know your customer. Come on. A lot of tricks were played on me then. I can attend to anybody by 2 a.m., 12 a.m., 1 a.m., but when it was time to defend your work, just everybody gets moved. And to me, I'm like, this one's on my side, this one's on my side. Oh, well, facility management, nobody's on your side, though. As far as the interest, if you don't have that interest, nobody's on your side. And also, LA, that actually sell me out with the escorts. They appointed supporting staff for them without giving me any funds, nothing. I have to request for funds, anything I want to do. And the funds can take like a month before they approve it. I'm talking about a fund of 1,000 naira. To a point, I start getting on a lost side, because I start using my money to fund the estate that all of us are living inside. So the SLA will have actually helped me, assuming I have that. The SOP, nothing like that. Right. Thank you so much for this. If this cost $1 million, I would love to pay for it. And I would always be punctual with this. Thank you so
much. Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. And I'm sure that's just the tip of the iceberg. To this class and every other class they're going to be having with me and other facilitators, just going to be such wows. We've been doing this for 8 years, and we know what we've put together. What's it getting better? But there's something I want to do. I want to see by show of hand on your Zoom portal, how many of us did our assignments and submitted it before this class? The assessments. Please raise your hand to do a poll. I want to see how many of us actually did. Okay. 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 Did you guys hear my question? The assignment of class of the first lesson. How many have done it? Use the Zoom app to raise your hand. Use the raise hand function in the Zoom app. I'm taking a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16 people. Okay. Oluwafemi, you're having a problem with the dashboard page, right? It doesn't reflect my course. Did you send an email to training? Okay.
Good evening, sir. I've done my assessments.
You have done it. Okay. I thought the reason for the no, you're not the Oluwafemi that's complaining on the chat. This is Adenuba. Oluwafemi Adenuba. Can you tell me, Oluwafemi Adenuba, why you have issues and it's not the result? Do you know why it's not the result? What feedback did you get from the training team?
No feedback was given. I reported severally.
You sent an email to training@maxmigold.com, right?
No, I reported via the WhatsApp channel and directly to the training manager.
Let's see. Next time, always send an email to training. At least I see that email, okay?
Okay.
Barakat, can you please say something about Oluwafemi's issue?
Okay, yes, sir. For Isikalu and Femi Adenuba, are students who are still trying to get their installment payments set up. So that's the reason why we're not getting full access. I think these are them ready.
Okay, thank you. So you heard it from the training department. There are procedures, right? If you are paying parts of your tuition and you need to set up the balance on the direct debit system, it has to be completed for you to have an access. So it just is a small problem that you need to, hasten up and deal with. When you fill for the Lydia platform and you sign a signature and upload that signature, the platform takes that signature to your bank, the way you would normally do when you go to sign a check or anything. The bank will look at the signature and compare it to the one you have in their system. If it doesn't align, they will deny the mandate. You will get an email that the mandate has been denied. So if you go to the bank and you insist that the signature you signed is the exact one in the bank that they have, they will give you an update form, a mandate form. So you refill your mandate form so that you will fill the mandate form. Then you will snap the same signature they have updated in your account in the bank into Lydia. That way, they will not deny your signature again, because many of us forget the signature we have signed before. And because we can trade on our account for years without signing any signature at all, because we have given up on checkbooks, we don't know how to sign the correct signature. So you go to the bank and redo your signature, do your mandate again and submit. Then you scan that one into the Lydia platform. Then it will go through, okay? So that's an administrative issue. There's little I can do about that. It's not a technical issue at all, okay? All right, so those of you who have done your assessment for class 1, please lower your hands. I want to now hear from those who did not. I know why Femi did not now, because he had not even been fully configured. He has a bit of administrative issue that he needs to deal with. For the others, what exactly made you unable to do the assignment or assessment on Wednesday, on Thursday, and on Friday? And there's another one today. I need answers. If you've done, lower your hands. I want those who have not done to raise their hand. Let's discuss their matter. John, you want to speak first?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Actually, I was trying to even see, I've not even set my eyes on the program because my hands are tight. Even now, I had a meeting before I joined the class. It was my wife that reminded me of the class, and because my schedule is tight this week. So that is it. I will still come back to the assignment. I will just want a grace that okay, let me speak for myself.
Okay.
That will submit the assignment, and the subsequent one, I will try to work on it.
Now, see, John, you don't show your face so that everybody will see you, that you are in this class as a Baba, MD of your own business, right? So nobody should compare themselves to you. There are some people that come to this program, they are not looking for a job, salary job. So they don't need all this plenty. If I had a certificate, they probably don't need it. It's just to hear us chat back and forth and get some ideas on how to do things. I hope that's not your category, John, but I don't want anybody to copy you. I want to hear from those who are really here to earn the certificates, this is the credential, why they have not done their assignments. Yes, let me leave John on one side. John, welcome. I see you.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Next, I want to hear from someone else. I have almost 10 people that did not do their assessments. I cannot be having silence when I'm asking you to tell me why. What happened? Yes, go ahead, Victor. You are muted. You are muted, Victor. You seem to be talking, but you are muted. Caller, let me hear from you if you want to speak.
Good evening. Actually, I just completed my own assignment this evening. So I'm planning to submit before the class starts.
Over. Okay, as soon as the class is over, you submit the last one, you do the next one, Abi?
I will do that, yes.
Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to make sure that all facilitators and the training team ask this question with every class. We're going to be having this poll in every class. So Barakat, take notes. Ivana, Adedamola, Mary, please take notes. I want somebody from the training department to start a discussion in every class and make sure the question about assessment submission is done. And it will be better for you to do it, training manager and your team, because you already know those you have seen have submitted, and you know those that have not submitted, okay? Because once you have not submitted up to 2 assessments, the training department will start calling you, okay? They will start calling you and finding out how bad things are with you. If not your side, things was past, they need to know. Eh? Because some of us will claim problem when past problem. So please don't let things bad for your side. Do your assessment. This is the value you are getting for this training, okay? Okay. I'm going to share my screen and then we'll get into today's class.
Sir, please, can I ask a question before the class starts?
Yes, please ask.
I'm finding it difficult to get into the website and checking the assignment and the assessment.
Victor. Baraka, you can set up Victor. Listen, your case is special. It's just that you have been doing like this. I don't understand you again. But they will set you up. You are not You are not cleared for setup. You're supposed to call me first, okay? Call me after the class.
Okay, sir.
All right. Second, if you have a question, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my question is it compulsory we have to submit on PDF instead of normal Word documents?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whether it's PDF or Word, it doesn't matter. The system will accept any of those two formats.
Okay, Baraka actually advised that we convert to PDF before submission.
If that is not a problem for you, submit. If it's a problem for you, submit in Word.
All right, no wala. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. The only thing that you must not fail to do is name your file properly. Let the file contain the course and your name. The file name must be, second as your surname is Bakari, right?
No, Saliu.
Saliu, yeah. So it will be Sekinat Saliu FM Foundation Assessment. That's how you name the file.
Okay.
Right? So in any format you save it, it must be that name. So that when we are going to do the scoring and we download it into a folder, we will not be seeing new doc, new PDF, PDF1, PDF 105, all those kind of names that many of your documents have in your computer. We will not be able to score you because that will be a waste of our time. All right?
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, well. I hope you're seeing my screen, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So in today's class, we're going to look at FM career. We, of course, we understand the rules of the class. We've had a very healthy discussion. Please maintain the standard of video on, good robust discussion before the class facilitator takes on. And when I'm teaching or any facilitator is teaching, please stay muted. Have your notes and your pen beside you. So you write your thoughts, what you are learning from what you're hearing and seeing, your questions, what you are going to ask for further clarification at the end of the class, and your action items, what you will do from the lesson you are learning. Those are the three key areas you categorize your notes. The thoughts, the new learning you are capturing. When somebody is telling you something and you are listening and is striking a chord, let there be a quick note on, what you just learned, that concept, something that can prompt you to remember it. The next one is questions. I want to ask this question about this topic and about that. Whatever question, you just write the question down because you need to ask the question. At the end of the session, it is possible that the question has been answered, by other conversation or other people's questions. So you may not necessarily ask it, but it is good that you wrote it down. And then finally, there are issues around your work, around your relationship with your bosses and your customers and the rest that you are trying to make decisions on. It may just be a case of a spark to call Tunde and discuss about an alternative way of solving a certain problem. Because of what is being discussed in class, it came up to your mind to call Tunde about the fire hydrant problem. You write that action down, right? Or you need to speak to Mr. Paul about a certain leakage. The technology you might know about a certain leakage. It's an action item. You write it down. Okay, do those three things throughout the 90 minutes I'll be presenting. And at the end of the day, you have the best out of this class, okay? So we're going to look at competencies for facility managers. What must you know? What is the full range of skills you should have to become a competent facility manager? We're going to look at the opportunities, the career opportunities in FM. We're all FM, but there are so many areas of facility management that you probably have not thought about, okay? And How do you make your progress along the path? Many people start their career, take up a job, sit down in that job, and they rot there. They just rot. Like, they become so stale and so backward and so archaic that the way they were doing things 4 years ago, 5 years ago, the day they were employed, is the same way they are doing it now. There's no improvement, there's no increase, there's no new knowledge, there's no innovation, there's nothing new, right? And then at some point in their lives, they start wondering why they're not anymore. They start wondering why they're not being promoted. They start wondering why they can't get a bigger job elsewhere, right? So we need to open our eyes. We need to have a plan, a development plan. As you are in FM today, there are levels in FM. How will I go from one level to another? I want to talk about that. And then we want to talk about the two sides of the coin. There are those of us who are working for the demand organization, the company that uses the service of FMs. So you may call them the client organization, or according to ISO, you say the demand organization. But then there are service providers, people who provide services as a contract, right? So the FM companies, so you might at some point in your career work for an FM company, a property management company, a real estate company that provides services for a certain range of clients or a single client. Or you might be the one within the client organization supervising the work of the FMs. We're going to look at those dynamics. We talked a lot about the hard and soft services in our last class, so I'll probably be silent on those, okay? All right. Setting your goals, exploring career options, analyzing the job market, and then creating and nurturing your pathway for career success. You have to have a way to the top. It's not very good to leave your future to the hands of, how would I put it, chance. Okay? You need to know exactly how you are moving, what's going to happen next. The very first step in the FM career is the basic education we've all acquired. Now, let me tell you something about basic education. Basic education used to be JS3 until it became worthless. Later, it became SSS. Until, I don't know whether it's a function of how the educational system became so bad that someone who graduated from secondary school does not know how to think, analyze, and decipher things. They don't know how to make inferences, make judgments from data, right? So it became another problem. So people are no longer employing from secondary school. And then a first degree became the basis for starting work, right? But in all fairness, if somebody has a good quality secondary education, the person can come into FM and study to become a professional facility manager. Because once you can read, you can write, and you can analyze, then you are ready to learn facility management, because you need those three basic capabilities to be able to become a facility manager, right? So if it's a first degree that gives you that ability to read, write, and analyze, analyze all the reasoning faculty, or a master's degree. For some, they've even done master's, they never begin to calibrate properly. So that can be another challenge, because you must be able to read, write, and analyze. You must be able to piece together data, make inferences from data, because FM is a data-centric profession. Okay. When you are in facility management, say you just come in and you've taken this course and you all excited, you've learned all of these skills, you often will be tempted to want to start, making, I should earn 200,000, 500,000, 1 million, and so on and so forth. Starting from a position where you can gain experience, the entry-level position where you can gain experience, is what I normally advise. There are many people who have stayed at home didn't take up a job. Today, I was just talking with a young man, went to AFMPN facility tour as part of our World FM Day activities. And I saw a young man who, he was being offered 100,000 as a facility manager in an estate. Both of us know it was too small. Why would somebody be offering you 100,000? And we talked about a few questions. He was even earning 50 before, maybe 50 or 60. And he felt, you know, he should wait until he gets, you know, the one that will pay like 150 or 200. I said, no. The person who sits down to wait for a higher paying job never gets a chance at any job. Employers take exception to you being unemployed. And that's why there's an epidemic of unemployment today. Employers don't want to employ someone who is unemployed. Employers want to employ someone who is actively employed. Now, it doesn't matter whether that employment is paying you or not paying you. So if you think, I don't want to stress myself, I can't kill myself, this job is not paying enough, let me sit at home until I find a job that pays me what I am worth, my dear, you are shooting yourself in the foot. Experience is all that matters. I was here and I was able to achieve this and that for them within 3 months, within 6 months. That is what the employer needs to drop, boom, a job on you. So when I heard someone like Grace telling me about being made a team leader when she doesn't know anything about FM, the employers have only checked and seen that where she had worked as an admin manager or admin officer before, she had made some impact here and there. They know that because of what she has done or what she's doing, she can do the job. It's all about mindset. The mindset that makes you want to stay at home until you get paid appropriately is a losing mindset. Now, if you take on such an entry-level position and you start, and you are not being paid a ton of money, you might also be tempted to take the job with levity. Many people are NYSC, internship or anything, they come late to work, they do very little amount of work, and when you ask them why they are not pulling their weight, they will ask you, how much are they paying me self that I want to kill myself for? Right? Now, that mindset, that thinking of how much are they paying me self is defeatist. You are bringing out something in you that you should have fixed with the right mindset to be able to do proper work. Okay? So you get into an opportunity and you are doing it for free as an intern. You are doing it with all your might, with all your zeal, with all your heart, as if you are being paid $1 million. That is what is going to move you to the next level. That is what becomes experience for you. Now, let me tell you how about this experience that many people don't realize. That you came to work and you stayed till the end of the day, and then you did that repeatedly every day. Doesn't mean you gain experience for those days or months or weeks or years. It doesn't mean you gain experience. The experience comes out of the doing, the achievements that you made, accomplishments while you were there. So if you come to work in the morning and you're able to generate certain reports, you're able to pick out errors in certain data, you're able to advise on certain things, you're able to come up with a proposal for this, you're able to execute and supervise this, you're able to do this work without HSC issues, right? Those are the things we call experience. Those are the things that add experience to you, not the length of time. Many people are in a job that they'll be there for 5 years, 6 years. They don't have 1 year's experience because they don't have accomplishment to account for every day or every week or every month they have stayed on that job. So you gain experience. Now, what's become the next step for many people? Some will leave while they are working in FM, admin, corporate services, whatever they found themselves, they will be doing that job with the mind of, after all, I read chemistry. Just that there were no jobs. So I found myself doing facility management. To upgrade, I want to go and do a master's in chemistry. That's career suicide. You spent 5 years in FM. instead of you to go and find education and certification in FM to consolidate on what you have done in the admin and FM role that you have done, you went to do a master's in chemistry. You are unemployable on both ends. That's what it means. You have made yourself useless in FM because you're getting those years upon years, but you're not getting experience. You are not improving. You are not increasing or upgrading yourself in FM. You went to do a master's in chemistry. When you go for any job in chemistry, they will tell you, where is your experience? After you're not a baby, you don't have any experience in chemistry. They won't employ you. So at the end of the day, you'll be stunted as an FM, and then you will never get a chemistry job. So if you find yourself in any professional area is, how you deliver, what you deliver for your clients. As you find yourself in that area, if you spend 2 years, you are no longer doing it temporarily again. It's not your career. It's not a matter of, I'm just doing it to get by. Don't think like that, because that's how many people frustrate themselves. It now becomes your career. Grow in it fast. Give yourself 5 to 10 years to become one of the top people in that field. If that field or profession was able to feed you and care for you for up to 2 years, if you build yourself in it and become good in it, it's going to be what is going to turn you into a star. Now, the second point to consider is, when you want to upgrade, should you go for another degree or should you go for a certification? If I were to answer that question for you, I'll say go for a certification. If you gain some experience, the degrees are good, but the degrees have levels, and it becomes an issue when you present a master's degree from Harvard versus a master's degree from Osun State. You will realize that whoever is looking at the two does not see the same thing. In your mind, is masters. Well, nobody thinks like that. Masters is not masters. In fact, a diploma from Harvard is better than a PhD from Osun State University, right? So that's the problem with degrees. Everybody rates a degree differently. You can be thinking that, oh, my Unilag degree is one of the best degrees. If I have a master's from Unilag, then everybody respects me. But somebody is looking at it, and it's looking at another one from Covenant, or another one from Caleb in Ikorodu there, and says, these people, they teach them, they give them small sense why they are there. Unilag, I'm not sure. Questions upon questions. Degrees have levels, no matter how you put it. So if you want to rise quickly to the top of your profession in FM, go for certification. So I'm going to go through some of them for you now. You do the FM diploma, you do the FMP, you do the SFP, you go for the CFM, you move up. Now, what makes credentials and certifications so much better is the fact that they are a level playing ground globally. When you say, I have my FM diploma, anywhere you go in the world with your FM diploma, it is the same. You got it from the same standard. You did the same exam, you went through the same rigor. If you get your IFMA FMP today, it is the same anywhere. Any employer sees it, recognizes it, that is it. There's no Nigeria FMP, Canada FMP, Singapore FMP. FMP is what? FMP from the same organization, right? So that's what I would advise you to boost. So when you now solidify, you are raising up, and I say, okay, let me go and have an MBA. I'm not a business leader, I'm not a strategic thinker. Let me go and have my PhD, my, whatever. I mean, add them up for the effects. There's this optics about having a doctorate, right? So a consultant like me, who is all renowned globally for what I do, and I don't have Dr. Paul Eruban beside my name, makes some people feel somehow, oh, so he's not even a doctor. Whereas someone else who is just 31 has been going to school all his life, has done BSc, second BSc, MSc, second MSc, 2 PhDs, has not acquired the kind of experience for consultancy and solutions given the way I do. But when that person says, my name is Dr. whatever, I have 2 PhDs and 2 MScs and 2 BScs, that profile automatically goes high in anybody's rating. That's how life goes. Okay, so that becomes something you want to strive for at a later stage. Okay. All right, so in terms of professional training, there's the Essentials of FM. Essentials of FM is a 4-day program that IFMA provides, gives you 10 small certificates, similar to what we have in the Fmmc. It's a wide level for low level people in terms of your level in the FM is operational. And then you go for the FMP. The FMP is the what we call the professional cadre, according to IFMA. There are 11 competencies we talked about in the last class. Out of those 11 competencies, these 4, O&M, operations and maintenance, project management, finance and business, leadership and strategy, are the 4 that is considered the basic. So if you know these 4, you can function on a day-to-day basis. And then for you to get the CFM, you need to cover all the 11 competencies. You need to know them. You need to be able to write an exam, test your ability on your knowledge on all of them, and your ability to act in taking decisions regarding all of them. Okay. And then you have the Sustainability Facility Professional, which is a credential that is focused more on sustainability, technology, and modern high-tech green solutions for the built environment. So it is one competence. While the FFP has 4 competences, the SFP has 1 competence. The CFM has all encompassing 11 competences. Okay. Now, what's the difference between a credential and a certification? The FMP and the SFP, like the FMD, the FM diploma you are taking from Max-Migold, are credentials. They are registered as credentials. Okay. Credentials give you designations. So you will be, whatever your name is, FMD, FMP, SFP, right? But they are not required to be maintained on an ongoing basis. So you don't need to accrue points on a regular basis to maintain them, to renew them. They don't expire, basically. But a certification will expire in a number of years, most likely 3 years. And for you to renew it, you must show points for teaching it, for mentoring other people, for working in it, for attending conferences, for participating in professional organizations, and so on. So when you get your CFM, which is the only globally recognized certification, it is the top of the range when it comes to certifications in FM. You will have to maintain it by industrial activities and business related activities. So it's very important to pay attention to that. So if you have the means right now and you want to take on other credentials, I mean, shoot for it. The FMP is a must-win credential. The 4 exams that you take are done on your computer. They are open book, though they are timed, but you can do them again and again for up to 24 months, 3 times every month, right? So that's like having 72 attempts at each of the 4 exams. I mean, how daft can you be not to pass that? And there's no invigilation. The same thing for the SFP. But the CFM is an exam center type exam, right? Which means it's pass or fail. If you go for it and you fail it, they will give you a 6-month clock countdown for you to be able to reapply to take it again. And there are things you must cover within those periods to show that you have the right experience. And there are a certain number of years you must have worked in FM, 3 to 5 years minimum, to be able to even apply for a chance to take the CFM. So even if you have the money to apply for the CFM, if you've not had the experience, you will not be allowed to apply for it. Yeah. There are other training made available by IWFM. The IWFM is the former BIFM. This is the Institute of Workplace and Facility Management in the UK. They used to be called the British Institute of Facility Management. They now expanded their scope to include workplace professionals, IT, and HR. And then they have training that goes along the National Vocational Qualification System, NVQ system of the UK. And then you also have the RIC, the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors. It's a British global institution for surveyors in all walks of life. So RICS, you can become an associate and then you earn your member MRICs, and then you can become a C certified, what we call a charter member of RICS, right? So those are some qualifications you can go. One of them that's not here is the Pro FM. If you're familiar with, because I mean, we've seen the RICS and IWFM from UK, and the HITMA from the US having stuff in the market, and then Canada also has its own Pro FM Institute that produces the Pro FM credential as well, that you can also go for as a way of advancing yourself. Too many facility managers are, how would I put it, they are playing the ostrich with their profession and their career. They don't join professional associations. We have outings, we have hangouts. Think about the things we had this week. We had a webinar, about 100 people attended. We had a hangout here in Unilag, about 20, 30 people attended. We had a field trip today where we went to Blue Waters in Lekki, and less than 30 people attended, just about that number attended. We should be anxious, we should be eager to network and know people. Many jobs you will get, many promotions you will get, many contracts you will get will be because of your visibility and participation in such activities. So let's open up to such opportunities and do a lot more than just hide within the organizations we have. Sometimes when you have issues in your organization and you're doing all your best to be on the good side of things, and things are not working right and you want to leave, you find it almost impossible to just transition without staying at home for a month or two, which you don't want to. For some people, they go out of their way to worship, all kinds of demons to maintain and retain a job, which, is no longer serving their purpose, just because they have, hidden their head into it for so long, and they don't know what's happening out there in the industry. So please, network, come out. Okay. All right. So what are some of the skills that you need to start cultivating to be really good? So the competencies are 11, but the skills are quite a bunch, because you have to deal with people, you have to deal with places, the buildings, you have to deal with processes and technology. You need to have interpersonal relationship skills. You have to be able to connect with people, understand what's going on in their mind, document their requirements properly, get their approval before you act in such a way that you're acting in their best interest, communicate what you are doing on a consistent basis, get their buy-in and their approval for your final outcome, and get them to rate you high that you are doing well. They will have issues. There will always be issues here and there, but a good facility manager has interpersonal relationship building skills. People will love you. People will protect you. People will shield you. People will, basically just take care of you in the industry, respect you because of the respect you are also given. Okay? If you do your job with a sense of duty of care, I have a duty to care. I will apply love in my interaction and in my engagements with my customers. You will find out that even if you don't have all of the technical skills, from day one, things will fall in place for you, just because your heart is in the game. Your mind is on the side of your customers. Analytical and problem solving, the FM must be able to, understand situations, be able to analyze situations, be able to analyze problems, be able to do what we call root cause analysis. Something happens, you run it as skelter to try to fix it. One way or the other, you got out of it or it got so bad, whatever the outcome was, but do you actually take time to say, okay, so what exactly happened? Let me rewind my steps. Let me take notes of what happened. This is the final outcome. This happened before it. This happened before it. This happened before it. Okay, at this point, I had these options. I went this way this time. And then this happened, and this happened, and this happened. Okay. So if I make this situation again next time, I perhaps need to try this other option, right? And then hopefully that and that and that will happen. That is the kind of skill an FM needs to have. You cannot have a problem today, and that's a problem happened last week, and last month, and last year, the same problem. It happens today, and it is the same way you thought about it or approached it last year, last month, last week that you're still approaching now. You're not ready for this profession yet, too. You're not ready. There must be something you learned from the last one that A, prevents that problem from happening again because you did that analysis when you were solving that problem. You took different types of action, like proactively calling some people about certain things to make sure they don't forget, for example, and you made notes to make sure you do that, and you did that and their disappointment did not happen, right? Or two, if for any reason after you have done that, they still disappoint you, maybe it starts raining, I say, oh, sorry, that's part of your reminders. Rain has started, we cannot come again, right? And they're disappointing you again. What is your plan B? Because if you've done your root cause analysis before, you now have your mitigating actions set for that same issue. Okay? FM must be adept at time management. You know, you can't be too relaxed or too comfortable. There are a lot of things you should be doing at a proactive level that if you don't do them, reactive things will hit you. And then you start counting all of the reactive jobs you are doing and start saying, I don't have time for myself. The work is too hard. You start making all those kind of complaints. It is because you've not planned your time well, using the 4 quadrants, the time management quadrants, to do a lot more planning and execution in your proactive quadrants. Financial and business management. The facility manager is a business manager. Let me tell you how. The FM is an organization trying to enable the productivity of the core business, right? What that means is, if the business is supposed to be profitable, the FM's job is to enable it to become profitable or more profitable, right? And the FM does that by understanding the business model. When we get to the class where I'll be teaching about the strategic facility planning, I'll give you a thorough breakdown of how to understand the business model of your organization. Don't play the game of us versus them. They want this. We cannot provide that. Or we want to help them get this, but they won't give us the money to do it. No, you have to understand the organization to the point of how the business model works. Where do they get their money from? What are the priorities, urgent and long-term priorities of the management of the organization? Why will what you want to do matter to them? How does what your plans, say you should do fit into the strategic or urgent critical matters that the organization needs to deal with? Second way is the FM is sitting in the profitability equation for your organization. What is profit? Revenue less expenses equals to profits. On the first lever of this equation, revenue, the FM may not be doing much. It may not be selling properties or renting out buildings or whatever. So you may not be getting revenue, right? But the FM is very heavy on the expense lever. So if revenue stays constant in the profitability equation, what happens when expenses go up? Profitability will what? Go down. What happens when expenses go down? Profitability will go up. If the FM understands that you are in the business of financial management of your organization, you will think twice about making mistakes on non-value adding expenses, or recommending things that are going to be costing the organization money that cannot be tied to tangible results, or paying contractors who have not really done the things that the company want them to do. You now go ahead and agree for them to be paid, or for some other reasons. You will not make any of such mistakes. You will not overpay for things that, let's say you buy a certain item by yourself, 15,000 when you want to buy it. But because it's company now, you will not go and spend 20,000 because you know that every naira you save goes into the profitability of the organization. you are able to track your own savings into that profitability. So if company makes $1 billion at the end of the year, and you were able to save 15 million from your own expenses, your 50 million is in that profit. So when everybody are claiming we made profit, you must also have the proper documentation, financial analysis to show how you contributed to that profitability. The FM is a project manager. Now, project management, we've had people come to tell me about project management as a profession. I'm a project manager. And I say, no, sorry, there's no such thing. Project management is a skill or competence that you can use in multiple professions. A doctor performing a surgery must be a competent project manager to be able to go through the entire procedures and documentation that goes before, during, and after the surgery. An accountant doing an annual audit is a project. An IT person building a software is a project manager. A construction guy building a site is a project manager. Every profession requires project management, just the way facility managers do. Every routine activities that you do, the cleaning, the on of the gen, the topping of diesel, the supplies of this and that, the security bits, arrangements, they are all operations, but they are projects you do every now and then, overhauling the gen, painting the building, building a new gatehouse, installing a new pump, bringing in a new components of this, removing the roof and putting a new one, or major overhaul or major repairs in any part of the building. These have to be done using project management skills. There are step-by-step processes for managing projects. IFMA, AFMPM, any professional association in the built environment that does facility management as a profession, we do not reinvent project management skills. We do not rewrite the model. We just take the same PMI-defined project stages and steps, and we adopt them. Okay, so project management is a skill that you must have. You cannot scope job and come back and say, sorry, the scope I gave, I missed out on a certain item. Or you finish coming to say the amount is 50 naira. Then you come back and say, sorry, the amount is no longer 50 naira. I spent 200 naira instead of 50 naira. You must be, able to use process. So in this program, I'm going to teach you, in fact, all these things we are talking about as the skills you need, we are going to cover them, as part of our package in the FM diploma. Be able to network, I've talked about it before, be able to research and find solutions. All the solutions are not in your head. Some things you have experienced, some things you have not experienced. The ones you have not experienced have been solved by other people before. Find ways to use your phones and your internet correctly. Find ways to talk to people in other organizations and see what they have solved. And that's one of the big areas where the alumni association, alumni membership is a big deal. People are having, insights from multiple angles on a daily basis. You must be good in writing reports, business cases, proposals, training, and so much more. Things that you will put down, whether email, a memo, or a business case, or whatever, and it will go before you. It will go and somebody will look at it. They are not only assessing the content of your message, they are also assessing your person when you write. So if you have deficiencies in writing, take basic writing lessons. Also, try to use editing tools. Don't use shortcuts and abbreviations when writing so that you can look professional. There are so many editing tools that help to correct your grammar. Install them in your computer and use them to review what you are doing. And now with ChatGPT, AI, I expect FMs to, be able to get some little help here and there with AI in cleaning up their comments and statements and write-ups. Because if you don't, you will be rated by what people see in your writing. You're not there. There's nothing we do in FM that you do alone. You work as a team. So team working, getting everybody in the team to be able to be switched on and getting their job done is one of the top skills you need. Leadership, you need to lead the bottom, lead at your level, and lead above you. What's leadership? Having a vision, casting a vision, sharing the vision with others, and getting them to internalize the vision and move in the direction of executing that vision. And this can apply to those you are overseeing, as well as those who are overseeing you. That's the thing about leadership. In fact, if you were to prioritize, if you ever got to a situation where you were in a dilemma to choose between taking leadership actions on your bosses compared to taking leadership actions on your subordinates, I will always recommend leading your bosses. If your bosses depend on you, they listen to you, they understand things from their point of view because you already understood from their point of view, and you are acting in ways that's in consonance, in complete alignment with their thoughts and feelings, they begin to depend on you. You're already now leading them. You started understanding them and, mimicking and understanding and applying the things they're trying to achieve. Now you become a master of your bosses because of your level of understanding of your bosses. Then you begin to lead them. Innovative approach. Innovation is not just about technology. It's about being able to do something different and better on a regular basis. And then you have decision making. The FM must be able to make decisions on the fly. It's important to have a reason why you decided in a certain way, right? And that reason should be something you can justify, analyze clearly. It's better to have an outcome that is insufficient, inadequate, or a negative outcome, out of a decision that was well taken, out of good judgment and good analysis, than to be undecided, right? You didn't take a decision, and luckily, a good outcome came out of it. If you didn't take a decision, and something just happened, and you were lucky to have a good outcome, it is worse than having a bad outcome after you consciously and intentionally taking a decision. That's the whole thing about decision making. And then the technology aspects. I mean, there are basic things that you can start with. Spreadsheets can be automated to remind you. Your asset register can be updated automatically. You can create QR codes for attendance. People signing into organization just using their phone to scan a certain QR code for attendance. You can do timestamps. You can do geolocators in spreadsheets. There are many tools you can start building on your own, small by small, to get things better. For example, I send you a report. Instead of having this report sent by email one by one, there are 70 of them that want to send you a report, and you start telling them, submit this report, and then you start seeing report 1, report 2, report 3 every when they send it. Why do you want to do that? Why not just create an online form in Google or Microsoft and say, every week, fill this form. Submit it, I've seen your report, and all of the information from every 70 of you will be aggregated automatically. I don't have to open report one by one and start taking numbers and putting in another spreadsheet and manually trying to add up. I've seen FMs wasting 2 weeks, 1 week, basically just doing energy data, service charge calculations, very complex, but very manual. They are writing in every cell. They are doing, there's hardly any formula anywhere. And when there's an error, there's an error. Everything just goes upside down. You start hearing things like, oh, we can't recover all the money we spend. We spend 70 million. We're only recovering about 69 million. What's going on, right? Because the FM has not taken on, ability to do things with, a little bit advancement in IT and technology. And the FM needs to be good with numbers, financial numbers, data. Like if I ask you, for example, compare your cost of generating 1 kilowatt for every 1 kilowatt hours of power using your generator, compared to the band A 225 naira they are charging you, right? The band A is very clear, the 20 is 225 naira. But how do you calculate your cost of 1 kilowatt hour from diesel generator production? You have to factor in the equipment, you have to factor in diesel maintenance, you have to factor in so many things, and then you now look at the load that fed from that generator in kilowatt hours or amps and come up with how much a unit is. So you cannot compare. So if the utility companies are giving you 10 hours and they're trying to negotiate something for them to give you 20 hours, for example. And they say, you know what, to move it from 10 hours to 20 hours, we're going to demand that you pay us a premium of 200,000 every month, right? It may sound like, hey, it's exploitation. They're trying to rip us off. Why we pay 200,000? But if you do your maths, that extra 10 hours could be 4 million, right? So why would I want to save 200,000 of moving from, low to high premium than, and then be spending 4 million generating with diesel, right? So you must know your numbers. Sometimes you even have a simple case like if a vendor gives you a quote and says, oh, it's 1 million, and you say, oh, well, we are not paying you until 3 months' time. And he says, no, move it to 1.5. I cannot do it for 1 million, I wait for 3 months. And your management says, he says 1.5, right? 3 months payments, take it. You feel management is being stupid, isn't it? But we'll be paying 1.5, we can pay 1 million. I mean, the other vendor wants 1 million now, and you get the job done. But this one will wait 3 months, but it wants 1.5 in 3 months. There are certain numbers that come to play there. Internal rate of returns, for example. And a company that has 1 million, what can they do with it in 3 months? If what they can do with it in 3 months can provide 1 million or 1.5 million on top of their 1 million originally, paying 1.5 to the vendor who's asked for 1.5 after 3 months. Chicken feed, isn't it? It's just like having my 1 million, getting the vendor's equipment or services for free. At the end of 3 months, I still have my 1 million because I used my 1 million to get 1.5. I gave you that 1.5, I still have my 1 million, right? But the FM is thinking, oh man, we made a mistake. We should have paid 1 million instead of paying 1.5 later. Now, that is the kind of thing that FM needs to start thinking. Put yourself in the position of business managers and use numbers to make sense. Somebody's cost has gone from 10 million a year to 20 million a year. And management is lambasting you. Your cost is going up. You are this, you are that. You're managing a mall. That mall, last year, when it was 10 million, people that came visiting the mall, I hope you counted them, the footfall. There were 1 million people throughout the year. This year, and the number has risen steadily to more than 3 million people that comes to the mall now. And management is telling you your cost went from 1 million, from 10 million to 20 million. My dear, if you use the right number, which is cost per driver, cost per footfall, which is a cost driver, you will realize that from 10 million to 20 million, your unit cost actually dropped. I hope you are measuring. I hope you know your numbers. I've asked many FMs, how many liters do you consume? Almost everybody doesn't know. They have not metered it. So if you don't meter it and you don't count how many people are in the building and how many hours they're in the building, you don't know how many liters per person per hour, right? So there are critical numbers you must get familiar with. Somebody will say, oh, this equipment has been making problems. It's not working well. Yeah, management should give us money to replace it. And management say, give me the numbers. Justify your request to replace this thing with 2 million. What's your mean time between failure? That's the average time or frequency of failure. What's the cost? What's the cost for maintaining a normal good one versus the cost of maintaining this one that is, dilapidated? That difference, does it justify buying a new one, or is this something we can keep managing or repairing? In your mind, you think management don't know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. You have to upgrade yourself as an FM to be able to play that game. Emergency reflexes, be able to take action at critical times, be able to, respond to situations, be able to proactively predict issues and have your plan B ready for every situation and have a go with the flow attitude. FMs, you don't hold a grudge. You don't take a position. I mean, we are serving people. Our job is not to say, this is how you do. No. Try to understand what the customers and your management and your leaders are saying. Try to understand it. Once you understand it, take it and flow with it, run with it. All right, so we talked about the 11 competencies already. I'm just going to run through them one by one, but then I'm going to take a 5 minutes break and I'll start with the communication one, okay? See you in 5 minutes. Just put it in the chat that we are in a quick break and I'll be right back. All right. All right, welcome back. So let's take the competencies one by one. I'd like to start with communication because it's one of the most important competencies you can have. You have to be able to manage or oversee the development and use of the facility communications plan. Develop and implement a facility management communication plan that includes messages, reminders, vision and mission statements, and select the situation appropriate media and techniques for communicating with stakeholders. Let me just put this in perspective, break it down. The day you are able to identify all your stakeholders, your users, management, regulatory people, community members, neighbors, visitors to your sites, that's the step one, the communications plan. You now decide what information will these people need from me. One by one, you itemize them. Then also, what information would you need from each category of these stakeholders? You itemize them. Then you ask yourself, what kind of frequency for each type of information? What kind of media or channel are we going to use? Are we having meetings? Are we sending emails? Are we using group chats? Are we having forum and so on and so forth? That's basically it. You've defined what, when, and how. Already you know why you're having those communications. The objective of those communications are also stated. You must be able to prepare and deliver messages that achieve the intended results. Promote FM information or recommendations to internal and external stakeholders. When you say they didn't approve what you presented, whose problem is that? Them or yours? By this, if you're good at this skill or competence, you will always get approved. You won't be asking amiss. And you'll be asking for things that are not needed, and you'll not be asking in ways that will not get it approved. Okay? The competent facility manager must be able to plan and support the organization's emergency preparedness program. Emergency preparedness can cover so many aspects of the organization. There are IT risks to be considered. There are HR risks, employees of critical skills leaving. There are financial risks, market-related forces and macroeconomic and microeconomic forces. But then there are premises or environmental-related risks, that you have to be abreast of. So this whole managing risk starts from you being able to identify the risk, right? And itemize, what things can go wrong, what is the probability of them going on, what are the likelihood or the impact of such things going wrong, and what can we do to mitigate, prevent, avoid, different strategies, and be able to test that this plan will work when the need arises. Then environmental stewardship and sustainability, be able to plan commitment of the organization to protecting the environment. The FM is managing the built environment, which is responsible for a large percentage of waste that goes into the environment, and also using a large portion of energy that draws from fossil fuel that the environment produce or provide. So the FM must be a sustainability leader by our means. We talk about finance and business. We're talking about the skills. Basically, you should be able to plan and implement budgets. You should be able to manage contracts, come up with service level agreements to align with organizations' financial situation and cash flow, payment terms and the rest. Then implement contracts in such a way that you are getting value for the organization for the money that the organization is spending. And then you have to be the expert in procurement. There are people in procurement who depends on your detailed specification, right? Defining why certain things must be or should be acquired. Then human factors. This is where all the health and safety, supporting the work of individuals, the well-being of individuals, their security, everything in the business environment, having competency in this area. And then leadership and strategy, being able to manage, lead the FM organization. You have a team. You should be able to set a vision, set a plan of action, and a step-by-step process or procedure for delivering on that vision with your team. If there are issues along the way, resolve them. If there are concerns, take care of them. Make sure the resources to get things going are provided to your team. And then you have to be that motivating factor, that force of motivation as well. Be able to provide leadership to the entire organization. You have to be an example of an ethical professional, somebody who adheres to a code of conduct. The FM profession, unfortunately, is the one that is reading with more corruption than any other profession in the built environment. In fact, in the entire workplace, the FM is the conduit for corruption, majorly. Okay, and so we need to be very careful to be on the side of ethical behavior and high-level integrity. That way, other people in the organization will respect us. They respect us as experts, not as thieves or people who benefit unfairly from the positions that we hold. And then strategic planning. I'm sure the next class is going to pop you a lot of information on strategic planning. Operations and maintenance, it starts with being able to develop an asset register, be able to know the various components of your building, the grounds, the exteriors, the interiors, the structures, the building systems, and then be able to understand the condition of each one. So the first one is the asset register, the next one is condition assessment, all right? And then you must be able to manage occupant services, the soft services as well. So we have people who are on soft services only and people who are on hard services only today, but they are both facility managers. You know, you must have competency in both areas. And then manage the contracting processes, you know, negotiate service level agreements, resolve contract disputes, and be able to also manage all of those work that will require the operational stability of a facility, the lighting levels, the air conditioning levels, you know, temperature, cooling, humidity levels, and the rest in your facility. Talking about project management, be able to plan projects, be able to execute projects and close projects and report on projects. And then there is quality. Standards, you know, FM standards, be able to develop standards, be able to have performance metrics, things that are measured to show whether you are improving or not improving, whether you are meeting certain, whether you are going in a certain direction the clients or the customers want you to, right? You must also be able to manage the continuous improvement process, right? As well as the regulatory compliance. If you are breaking the law and you don't know it, it doesn't change the fact that you are breaking the law. So it's your job to understand the building codes and apply them in your facility. And then there's the real estate and property management competence. Be able to develop the real estate master plan, develop and implement one, be able to see that the assets that you have are managed judiciously, like space. Space is money, space is an asset. You can't have wasted spaces in your organization. They have to be optimized. Okay? You should be able to come up with space utilization calculations. If you give me an office and I'm always up and about in the whole world, I come to the office once a month, you as the FM who assigned that office to me should be able to do some calculations on how often I use the office and probably come up with another policy that will change the way offices are located so we're not wasting the spaces that we are giving. All of the assets are involved. And then the same thing with technology. You're able to plan, direct, and manage the facility management, business, and operational technologies, softwares, building systems, automation systems, all kinds of things that are coming to the organization. You don't just go for an automation or a technology, you must start from where you are, map out where you are going, see the gap, and use the gap analysis to decide what technology you can use to move yourself from one point to another. Those are competencies the FM should have. All right, so the FM focus areas are broad. We are people that are into cleaning, electrical maintenance, security services, fire. They are all in FM, catering and all. In terms of what to expect, every FM job is a normal job, right? But you don't go to work like every other person. You don't go to work with every other person. You don't go to work, you know, competing with those you are serving. You are serving them, so you can't inconvenience them. So a lot of things you need to do will have to be done outside their normal working hours, right? So it's for you to take your 40 hours and plan it out. On Mondays, I'll come to work by 12, I'll close by 8. That's my 8 hours. Because there are some things I will do between 5 and 8 that I cannot do, you know, during normal working hours, because I don't want to disturb anybody. On Fridays, I don't come to work because I come to work on Saturdays to do deep cleaning, to do fumigation, to do this and do that. So I don't come to, I take my Friday off. Every FM have to have a plan that the HR would approve and execute, because if your work plan on how to use your hours are justified, tied to the work that you do, because you know what you're supposed to be doing, right? Then you will always get approved. Okay, so of course there are times when there will be overnight work required. You know, there will be extra hours. You'll be required to be on call, you know, every now and then. Keep tab of the value you are giving so that you can have enough time off. Some people are having burnout today because they come in the morning by 8, they sit down till evening and start working till night again. I don't understand. Why did you do that? Is there nothing else you could have done with your life in the morning? But when you know that you will have so many hours to give when others have left, you know, think about it and start planning in that regard. There's a lot of variety in the FM profession, which is it's a good thing. People come into the profession just because, you know, you are touching everybody's life in different ways, from their drinking water to their toilets, to their beds, to the comfort, cooling. Basically, every aspect of life you are touching. You are solving problems. You are almost intimate with your work because of the impact it has on people around you, and you can grow from level to level. If you are at the shop floor today, a specialist, maintenance person, technician, as far as you can read, write, and analyze, and you can always upgrade yourself to become a facility manager. So the opportunities will depend on the organization and the designation you hold in terms of whether I'm a coordinator, an officer, a supervisor, a manager. Doesn't really matter. You can be a manager in a small company, or even a director yourself, and you're not even as rich or as powerful as or controlling as many assets as somebody who's just a supervisor in another organization, right? So it doesn't matter. Forget about the titles. Yeah, they don't really matter. So about working in the FM company versus working in the demand organization. In the FM company, you have huge variety of work in terms of client type, asset class, geographical location, and style of facility management work needed. If you manage a hospital for 1 year, and you go to an airport for 1 year, you've gained experiences about medical professional experience about aviation that's, you know, you could have gotten another way. And that goes, you know, from one point to the other as you work in an FM company, because they will win contracts and send you around to get job done. So you're not tied to one portfolio, which is an advantage, right? So you have the ability to make a wide range of contacts in the market, you know, multiple clients and multiple networks, flexibility of role and career progression, greater depth of understanding of the FM industry, and you're a more capable manager when working from the FM company side, because you have the breadth. Disadvantage, possibility of being spread over multiple clients and portfolios. Some guys are managing one retail mall here, one factory there, other, you know, so you feel the pressure of that variety, that spread. Not always able to specialize in or hone in on preferred sector like you want to. just face medical FM. But your company will not only have medical FM. And if you are good at your job, the day they win a high-rise tower in Nikoi for residential, they are moving from the hospital down there, right? So you may not be able to just say, you know what, I'm going to be a purely medical FM from one hospital to another hospital, which may not, you may not have that opportunity. You may not have autonomy because you are working on behalf of a company who is working for a client. The client calls the shots, the company follows, and you are supposed to just take orders, right? And then sometimes you will need approvals for things that might drag on for days. Working for a demand organization, or what we call the client company, can give you that power of, well, we are the owners, we are the ones employing service providers, right? You are the budget owner. And if you're working with a company, say a bank or an oil and gas company, that could be your entire career. You can do all the 30 years there, and then you have that stability. Okay, some advantage is that some find constantly working on the same portfolio with the same assets, restricted, repetitive, and lacking in variety. You just keep doing the same thing for so many years. You don't feel you're growing. Often not so much career flexibility and limited growth and opportunities, because in those core organizations, there are certain people that cannot grow above a certain position. You cannot become the head of the bank as an FM, for example, and things like that. So think about it. But what I would normally recommend is have the experience on both sides. I have done that with my career, and I've really enjoyed it. And I think it's the best way to go, have the experience on both sides. All right, so hard soft services, I think we've talked a lot about this, and I'll just move straight to this particular point, the levels of operation. FM is delivered at the strategic level, at the tactical level, and at the operational level, right? When you start your FM career, you're probably a supervisor or you're an officer. You're still the one that taking record of who came in, who left, how much materials were used, workers roster, and the rest. Those are all operational level. In the day-to-day doing, the act of checking and doing that you're acting there. At the tactical level, you are taking more high-level decisions like an annual budget, like the kind of contracting strategy to deploy, the kind of controllers to have in place. You're taking those decisions and the kind of projects to execute. At the strategic level, you are thinking of more higher decision making. Should we adopt technology, for example? Should we outsource or insource? Should we employ our workers or have the controller do this or do that, right? You are taking decisions at a higher level. So you will most likely go from bottom to the top, from specialist to more and more generalist, when you become a master of the things that are happening at the bottom, even though you are no longer the one directly doing them. But then this is what happens in this consideration. As you rise to the top, there are fewer people at the top. But those fewer people, one or two persons at the strategic level, their decisions, their actions, their performance results in a lot more outcome for the organizations. If somebody's at the top who is thinking straight, who's analyzing well, who's making good decisions, the results that the organization benefits from is a lot higher compared to the many people at the bottom doing their things well. No matter how well they do their things at the bottom, at the operational level, they are still going to be guided and controlled, and they are still going to be under the influence of those higher than them. So as you rise up, you must increase your value, you must increase your strategic focus, you must have the ability to manage things at the bottom, having a vision, a bigger vision, the best eye view of your entire activity, so that when each person is acting in different roles, you can see everybody and be able to orchestrate the activity to produce the kind of effects or the outcome that the customer expects as his final outcome. All right, on a final note, I would say, you've all submitted your CVs, I believe. Just revise those CVs, briefly and start putting them out. In fact, just put in your CV now that you have the FM diploma in waiting. You're already in view, they say, right? Let's see how that begins to impact your job search for those who are looking for work. Okay. start testing the waters. Don't wait until you finish the program before you start testing the waters. That's why and this is what we have been teaching for the last 5 years, that not many people have been doing internships. Most people are just getting jobs straight away from when they're in the program. All right, so that's the lesson for today. Possess the skills, to get your job done, know exactly what kind of work you're doing, and, build the kind of competencies you need to deliver on them. So that's your assessments. Every class has them. Please review them and sort them out today. Okay, so let me see who is in class. Let's have a discussion on your questions or comments. Jamil's hand is up. You can take the mic right away and move on. Hold on, let me do something quickly. Hold on. Something I need to do to enable you to be able to unmute. Somebody was trying to crash my class with noise, so I made it impossible to unmute by everyone. So let's see. All right, so you can unmute now, Jamil.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm not hearing you well.
Can you hear me now?
You're loud.
Yes, we can hear you.
So
Thank you. So let me first of all say job well done, because it's more or less like this is getting more interesting and then getting more, educative. So the first question I want to ask is because the first question is, are we allowed to share these materials you are giving us with our organization?
Yes.
That's the first question.
Okay, let me answer that one straight away, right? You can use it to teach, but you cannot share it. Your NDA says you cannot share it. You cannot pass the materials around. Okay.
Because the reason why I say so is the kind of organization I work with and the kind of supervisor I have now. I know she has been taking some steps, which I believe she might say, you need to share all these documents with me, because I know she has somebody in mind that she needs to give this document to. So I need to be sure that if at the long run, we are trying to exchange emails, I can refer to you that, okay, fine, I signed a disclosure agreement that I'm not supposed to disclose any of these materials.
Yes, you cannot share the material, but you can use the content in your training or exchanges. For example, you can take screenshots of certain slides to explain certain things as part of issues and communication with the organization. But you can just take the material and email to somebody because you've signed up.
Thank you very much. So sorry, just two more questions. The next one is with the way things now, okay, let me say on facility management, this is going to be my first certification. So as the way it is, if someone decided to build a career in facility management, which certification do you think is the next one and the right one for someone to take, which, it's, considering the cost implication?
Okay, good question. Thank you for that qualification. So if you take the FMP next, right? It should be the natural next step, especially if you are new to the profession. The FMP, the facility management professional, the one that has 4 competencies, should be the natural next step. But the best price I have been able to give anybody the FMP this year is 2.5 million.
Wow. Because I know the first day we started this, you mentioned something that we should register as a
AFMPN.org. Go to AFMPN.org and register as a member. You'll get a certificate of membership, right? It's not a credential, but at least it identifies you with the association that is the national body of FM in Nigeria. So the FMP is a bit pricey. So if you have up to 3 to 5 years experience and you want to go for the CFM, you can spend about 1.1 or about, yeah, something about that for the CFM. But the CFM is pass or fail, right? So that's the next level. So just plan your
sorry, class.
savings for it.
Okay. So my last question is the company I'm working with, it's a two-story building, and the common area is outsourced to the facility manager. So the only place we manage is what happened within our space. So in this kind of situation, in quotes, there are some questions that once you ask the technician and the facility manager, because the owner of the building is the owner of the company that I'm working with. So it's more or less like, technical. When you are asking some questions, the only thing you get is, are you the one that signed the SLA? What is your problem? Why are you asking this question? Because the owner of the building and the owner of the company that I'm working with is the same person. So in this kind of situation, will you advise that someone, and for somebody like me that's okay, fine, I want to grow in FM, is it advisable for someone to still continue working in this environment, or
Sure, why not? Sure, why not?
Okay.
There's no environment you cannot work in, right? The important thing is for you to know the principles you work with, right? There are two entities. You know the one that employs you. Even if it's the same person that owns the two entities, there's a contract between the entities. There should be a contract between the entities. Your job is to align with the employer among the entities, the one that employs you. Okay. There may be some political considerations from what you are saying. When somebody is asking you, why are you asking about this, or why are you asking about that? How is it your business? And so on and so forth. You can use relationship and leadership to work around those things, especially when you are showing them value. If you give me the information, I'm not coming empty-handed. I'm also going to show you value. I'm going to do something that will help you be better at what you do. I'm not dragging your job with you, basically. But over time, you will outgrow such environments, right? When you outgrow an environment, you will know, because you start going for other interviews and they'll start, making offers to you that shows to you that you are supposed to be elevating or advancing. So you're not living for this reason. You are living because you are growing in your profession for bigger challenges, because some challenges will be too small at the level of development you've achieved. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Aniko, go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Paul. Thank you again for this wonderful lecture today. Okay, well, I think you've answered most of the questions that met you at the office in terms of my FM career, from FMD to CFM, how you have advised me to go about it, which I've started already. So I want to ask this question, and I'm going to paint a scenario. In terms of communication, I saw there that if as an FM officer or FM facility manager, I communicate something to my boss and it's not taken up, it means I'm not competent enough. That is what you thought of the thing, that's what is there. Even in IFMA lecture course, I saw it there. So now something happened, was it on Wednesday? So I was supposed to send I was asked rather to tell my people in Warri to get a performer invoice from Luminous, that's this Simba company, in terms of inverter and a battery board that's suitable for the office. So they searched and they said there's no Luminous in at what's it called, Warri. So I did my search and I saw that it's possible that they are really not there. They are in the Port Harcourt. So I went to the office in Lagos at Wigmore. They told me that they are in Port Harcourt, that they are not there in Warri. So I told them to give me an invoice for a 4 kV inverter for that branch. Now, this is how I made my decision. We have a branch in Chevron Lekki here where we have 16 ACs, but we've made a decision that no AC should be connected to the inverters. So the inverter is just mainly for a few lights, a few lightings, and then a fan. the socket just to power fan. Then what we were talking about is a branch I've been to also that even have just 4 ACs, and we staying with the decision that we must not connect any AC on any inverter, just a few of their lights and fan, and they're even smaller than the branch we have here in Chevron. So I made the decision that by and large, these people will want to like 2 or 4 or 5 fans. I even asked them there at the Simba at their office there. So they said, okay, 4 kV is okay. So I presented this to my boss, and the shouting was not here. The way she talked, like I don't know what I was doing. I was like, who are you? Why did you who made the decision of 4 kV? I said I did. On what basis? I gave the basis that the one of Chevron, I was one that made the decision and it's working fine for us. She asked me how many ACs do you have in Chevron? I said, Chevron we have 18 ACs. Well, we are talking about just 4 ACs. Is it that you are forgetting all these things? I know that of course she's a lady, she's not a facility manager. She just all these things are learning as we are doing. I know that, long story short, she even called admin and told admin that whatever I need, I must go through them. I must do this. I must not go ahead with anything again. This is that. They must vet everything I'm doing. I said, okay, fine. So admin, she now told admin that the Simba people should go to the office to go and tell us the exact inverter we should use. So Simba is in worry, which I told her. She didn't listen. So I called the Simba people. They sent me an invoice of 50,000 to transport away to go and say. Immediately she saw it, she said, if they're not worried, then no need then. But you've insulted me the previous day. You made me feel less of myself that I don't know what I'm doing and everything. So at the end of the day, she now said, okay, she was not asking me the questions over again. Say, fine, eventually we're still going to use the 4 kV inverter and the 4 batteries. So I'm not the kind of person that likes to be disrespectful or insubordinate or anything. Albeit that she's somebody that is way, way younger than I am. But I wanted to point out to her that you insulted me because of something like this the other day. You made me feel like I'm an incompetent person. So if my core competence, one of it that is communication, is saying that because I bring forth a suggestion or a strategy or something we should do, and my boss does not take it, that means I'm incompetent. So I don't know. How do you answer this? How would you answer this question, sir?
Your incompetence is not a technical incompetence. It's a leadership incompetence. It's a communication incompetence, and I will explain this too. Leadership incompetence in the sense that for some reasons, you are making your boss feel uncomfortable about your abilities, right? You are using your skills and competencies to shine. You shouldn't. Under the leadership competency, you are supposed to make your boss shine with your skills and competence, not shine and make your boss dull, right? So that's the first thing. And when you shine and make your boss dull, your bosses don't like it. And when they don't like it, you have failed in that competence again, because you have a responsibility to make sure that your boss likes you. That's one of the jobs we have. That's one of the politics we have to play, right? So you may have a good idea of how you present it, right? Let's give you an example. You have something to present, and you come to the boss and like, I've been looking at this worry issue. What do you think? I'm actually thinking that 4 kV might work, but I just want to see how how you think about it, right? Now, you already suggested 4 kVA, but you're just asking her to be the one to decide that we should use 4 kVA, right? What have you done? You have laid your expertise on the table for her to use. She'll not say, go, let me think about it tomorrow, right? When she comes tomorrow and says, okay, I've been thinking about it. These are my concerns about 4 kVA. You say, okay, she expressed. Okay. Then you explain your own side in a very humble way. And later she says, okay, go ahead and do it. You cannot go away saying, it's my idea that we have used. It's not your idea. Even though it was your idea originally, the way you have now routed it through the boss, right? When it finally comes out as the action you take, you must give the boss the credit 100% for it, right? You must make your boss look good. You must make your boss job look simple. You must make your boss look smart. That is what we are training you to be, right? The moment there is unease they start working against you. I've seen very smart people, very intelligent people jeopardize their career just because they make people above them uncomfortable. And this is politics. This is a virtue you have to learn in facility management. We don't turn things to make it look as if, because you are good at what you do, you must take the credit and call a spade a spade. No. That's not relationship management. Relationship management means that you manage people, you lead them. They do the things you expect. You make them feel they are the ones doing it, right? And they are happy with you. It is, if we are not talking business and organizations, corporate environment, we will say humility. If I was in a church talking as a bishop, I'll say humility, right? But now I'm talking as a business coach, right? So I won't use the word humility. I will use leadership. Leadership means being at a level where your boss begin to lean on you without you feeling like the superstar, okay? That's very helpful in this situation.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Isaac.
Thank you very much. I don't know whether someone is hearing me.
Yes, you're good.
Okay, thank you. It gets more interesting as the day goes by. Can you remember that during the last session, you asked a question and we had a conversation about some certain issues. So,
sorry, sir, can I interrupt for 1 second?
Okay.
Please, I would like to leave the class now. I'm called to duty.
Okay, no problem. That's fine. No problem. Thank you. Go ahead.
So today you have actually added a few more things that led me to say yes. There's something you mentioned. You said that we have to put ourselves in the position of the business manager, and the group finance director is sort of the business manager because he controls what comes in and all goes out. So that's a key point I've learned today, because he is the one that knows what we can do with the IRR of the company, and he may decide to buy things when he feels is better for the company. Because why I raised that issue was that when the AC was like 300,000, he was keeping these bills, and when the AC got to 800,000, he released the bills. I was like, why is this man doing this? Is it not going to affect the company? But with your explanations, I've come to, in fact, I'm thinking like a business manager now. I'm thinking like a business manager. I can't wait for us to go deep into this.
Very good.
Yeah. So another thing I want to point out is, communication is very, very important in whatever someone is doing. Because I became agitated when I keep on relating with their staff. He says, yes, I need to sign signature. I should sign digital signature. So I try to sign, and I'm not using iPad, so it will not be that regular. I was like, the one I signed before, is it not better than this? So after that, up to now, I've not had any, and I've not seen any mail showing me that, okay, look at the challenge or not. So I chatted him up and tell him what is happening. This is becoming frustrating. No response showing me, and I've not been able to log in. There's assignment there to do. So with the explanation now, I've been able to know that this is a very simple thing that I would have walked out to the bank and resolved the issue. Yeah. By now, not be having all these discussions.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
Thank you very much for that, sir. Yes.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for being to this class. I think I'll still be the one teaching you the next class on Monday, and tomorrow, Saturday, for those who are coming for the physical class, I'll be the one on stand for you. Let's have a good time and have a good evening. Please don't forget to do your assignment right now. Thank you and have a good night. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you very much, sir.
you.
Have a nice
Good night.
weekend.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Good night, everyone.
Thank you very much
AFMPN
and good
for you that
night.
is checking on the AFMPN.
Good night.
Amiko, AFMPN. N, yeah, not M. N. AFMPN.org. Yeah.
That's what I typed now.
No wonder the
AFMPN.
site wasn't going through.
You type M, not M. N. Let me type it for you. AFMPN.org. Yeah, that's the right one. Bye. Bye, everyone.
AFMPN.
PN.
Yeah, that's what I typed.
Yeah, FMPN.org will work. That's our website.
FP. Okay, that's all.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Nice weekend.
Thank you. You too. Bye.